Today I fucked up by coming while making eye contact with my girlfriend's dad. Today I fucked up by coming the precise moment that my girlfriend's dad looked me in the eyes. As always, this didn't happen today but about 2 or 3 years ago. It was around my senior year of high school, and I was at my girlfriend's house. I would go over to see her at her parents' place on a nearly daily basis because at this point in our relationship, we were both fawning over one another pretty hard. Additionally, we were having sex on quite the regular basis. Kind of like rabbits, if you will. Normally we would hang out during the day and retreat to the basement around 8 or 9, and after her parents had gone to bed, our sex marathons would ensue. On this fated day, however, we got just a little too brave. It was around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we had been laying on the couch watching Friends when she started feeling around on me down there. Obviously my hormone-riddled body responded readily to her touch, and before I had the time to mentally prepare myself, she unbuttoned my shorts, tugged them down, and started going to town. To this day, that has to have been one of the best BJs I've ever received. Friends was playing in the background, and I was certain her parents couldn't hear anything from upstairs, so I let myself relax to thoroughly enjoy the experience that my girlfriend had decided to gift to me. Having the time of my life, I slowly edged towards climax, getting closer and closer to the point of no return. My body tightened all over, and I realized that I was on the razor's edge between being able to stop and losing all control over what was about to happen. In this precise fucking instant, I heard the door at the top of the stairs kerchunk and swing wide open, its creaky hinges sending a chill all the way down my spine. Now an important thing to note is that the stairs descend into a small hallway that opens up into the basement living room. Living room cannot be seen until one has reached the end of the hallway. Knowing this, I desperately began to try to make optimal use of the precious time we had left. I whispered my girlfriend's name and glanced at the stairs with worry flashing across every feature of my face like a damn neon sign. She stopped moving up and down on me, but kept me in her mouth, and turned in order to shift her attention to the stairs. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. Or, to put it more accurately, the suck that busted the nut. Footsteps echoed to us from down the stairs, through the hall, and I realized that I had reached the point of no return. I whispered her name again to try and alert her of what was about to happen, but in an instant, she popped me out of her mouth, tugged my shorts back up, and flopped forward, landing on my chest in a cuddling position in one fluid motion. The most MLG moment of BJ history, to be sure. I was trying desperately, harder than ever before, to revert the process happening within my body. Pressure was building to dangerous levels, for I had never in my life surpassed my limit to this extent. It may have been an entire second that passed, or it may have been less, but her father rounded the corner, and I realized that I either had to come now or I was going to die in a giant explosion of semen. Looking back, I can't say which choice would have been the best to make. My eyes met her father's, and the combination of fear, edging, and immense back pressure resulted in the most intense orgasm I've ever fucking had. I blasted shot after shot into my shorts, quivering under my girlfriend and the blanket and whimpering silently into the side of the couch. "What you guys doing?" he asked harmlessly. My girlfriend responded, "Just watching Friends," as I tried desperately not to look like a man who was coming violently in his shorts. "Don't you ever get tired of that show?" he asked before grabbing a beer from the fridge and returning upstairs. My girlfriend sat up saying that was way too close. I responded feebly with a moan, and she got up asking me what was wrong until she looked down to see that I had fucking ruined my shorts. The entire left leg was sopping. To this day I don't know if he knew that I was coming when he rounded the corner, but I'm guessing that the experience probably made me about 10% gayer. And to be honest, I'm okay with that because it was a dope-ass fucking nut. I miss my shorts though. I had to throw those away. Too long didn't read. My girlfriend's dad walked in on me receiving a blowjob from his daughter, and I came when our eyes met. Yes, it was awkward. No, I don't know if he knows or not because my girlfriend is awesome and reacted quickly, but unfortunately I lost one of my favorite pairs of shorts forever. There was a similar one I read sometime back, only difference was GF's dad opened the door making eye contact at the same time she popped him out of her mouth. Dude proceeds to blast his GF's face and hair while staring directly at her horrified father in the doorway. Oh fuck no. I'd literally kill myself, crying face, crying face, crying face, crying face, crying face, crying face. Are you and the GF still together? If so, can't wait for the possible dad of the bride's speech at the wedding. Please record and update. We are still together. I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night drenched with sweat dreaming of exactly this. Dude, you'd have to have the best goddamn poker face in the game to look a man dead in the eye as you whimper and blow several loads into your shorts without him realizing. He probably knows Lamau. I don't think there's any way that he firmly grasped the full gravity of the situation. It would have been funny as he said, "Friends? Which episode?" "Oh, that's my favorite episode." And then sat next to you. Today I fucked up by beeping my horn at someone downtown. This was a few years ago. I used to drive a silver 1994 Volvo 850 wagon. It was a good car, but being 20 plus years old, the plastic had started getting brittle. One day I had lunch on the west side of town, and after I was done I decided to cut through downtown to get back to the office. The traffic was surprisingly bad considering the time of day, and I ended up sitting through several light cycles at the same intersection, inching closer and closer for about 10 minutes. My lunch hour was nearly over, so I was getting a little frustrated. Finally there was only one car ahead of me at the red light. The light turned green, and the car ahead didn't move. I lightly beeped my horn with the side of my fist, nothing. So I beeped the horn again, a little harder this time, beep beep. My horn broke, I realized with horror. The car in front of me finally moved on through the light and I followed closely, only to have to stop again at the next intersection, my horn blaring all the time. The guy shot me the finger. There was no escape, only one lane of traffic, and either side of the street was lined with parked cars. I couldn't pull over. I couldn't leave. The horn echoed all over the buildings surrounding me. People on the sidewalk were looking and pointing at me with angry faces. There was an Italian restaurant right next to where I was stopped. A guy in a white kitchen apron rushed out and started yelling at me from the stoop. I waved my hands at the horn and shook my head helplessly at him, and he must have understood cause he smiled and went back inside. I sat through 2 more lights for what felt like an eternity, face in my hands, the horn screaming. It went on for a good 10 minutes and I'm sure every office downtown hated my guts at that moment. Finally I was able to break off onto a side street and escape downtown. I pulled over near a parking lot and with the help of a screwdriver borrowed from the attendant, I pried the connector from the horn and it went blissfully silent. Apparently this is a really common problem. Cause you can buy a repair kit on Amazon with new plastic spacers. I was reminded of this situation because I came across the photos I took of the steering wheel while I was repairing it. Too long didn't read, got impatient, broke my car horn with my superhuman strength, and pissed off everyone within a square mile. Stories like these are why I enjoy this subreddit. Thanks for the chuckle. This happened to my brother while he was driving a 1984 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra back in the 90s. Got cut off on the highway and my brother, being the smart teenager he was, punched the horn really hard and it would not stop blaring as we were going down the highway. After a few minutes of continuous and lots of strange looks from other drivers, the horn started changing pitch and then gave up completely, followed by smoke pouring in through the vents. It was a dual horn, so it was incredibly loud and annoying. I ended up with this car a couple years later and decided to replace the horn. I chose a single tone, high or low. I didn't want the car to sound like a moped, so I went with the lower option. The best way I can describe the sound of the horn is it sounded like a cow mooing. I loved that car. I don't know the mechanics of it specifically, but when it would get really cold in the winter time, our elderly neighbor's car horn would suddenly go off. My bedroom was closest to their home, and also adjacent to their garage since all of the garages were on the right-hand side when facing the home, and I was on the extreme left-hand corner of the front of our house. They were hard of hearing, so they couldn't hear the horn even though everyone around them could hear it. I would literally have to go over to their door at 3 a.m. in the morning and pound on it to wake them up so they could turn the damn thing off. My next door neighbor once complained, albeit politely, that my driveway floodlight bothered him being on all night. I ended up just taking down the whole fixture. He has a pickup with the most sensitive car alarm on earth. Goes off when a dog barks a block away, at all hours. Luckily he always turns it off within a minute or two, even when it goes off at 2 a.m. But I've never mentioned it to him, rolling eyes face. This reminds me of the Top Gear India special when they wired James May's brake lights to his horn, making it go off every time he pressed the brake. Genuinely one of the most brilliant car pranks I've ever seen. That happened in my apartment complex, except the guy with the broken horn decided to park his car like normal and leave it there without fixing it in his assigned spot that happened to be right next to my first floor bedroom window. At 11 p.m. when I had to wake up for work at 4, died after 2 hours, but my grudge at my neighbor for not parking on the street near the churches instead will live forever. Today I fucked up teaching my toddler where her teeth are. So this happened about a month ago and I'm, 40 meters, just now able to write about it without shuddering. My 17-month-old toddler has been learning about different parts of body at daycare. So every time I change her I go through different parts of the face asking where her eyes are, then where daddy's eyes are, and she points at them and touches them and so on. She does this with teeth too, and I let her touch my teeth when ask where daddy's teeth are, etc. Hence the FU, I just changed her and let her run off in her diaper while I put the cream and stuff away. She was in the kitchen just running around the island and then squatting down. She was still touching her teeth, so I asked her where daddy's teeth are. She came over to me and touched my teeth, rubbing the front 2 teeth with her pointer and middle finger. Then she touched her teeth with her other hand. She walked off and went about her business, and I felt a foreign substance on my teeth. I looked in the mirror and sure enough, she had stuck her hand that she used to touch daddy's teeth in her freshly changed but even more freshly soiled diaper before rubbing her fingers all over my teeth, covering them in poop. I gagged, I spit, I gagged some more, and I died inside a little while my so was laughing uncontrollably the entire time. It was terrible for me but hysterical for everyone else, including our 4-year-old. Too long didn't read, my toddler innocently, or maliciously, smeared her poop in my mouth. Edit, thanks for the silver kind stranger. Edit 2, wow, thanks for all the awards and comments everyone! Exclamation mark. Hence the FU. Never let children put their hands in their mouth or anyone else's. You learned one of the most valuable lessons a parent can learn: never let a child touch you without inspecting their hands. This is a story your daughter will tell her grandchildren and they will laugh their lungs out. This is also a story my so will tell all our friends and family all the time and they always laugh their lungs out, smiley face. What's up with kids always pooping in a fresh diaper? Mine did that as well, both of them. Seriously. She's notorious for waiting until we change her before letting it rip. Reads the title. Reads the too long didn't read. I fucking gotta read this one.